y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah, blogger, content creator, and small business owner. I have an online store called Hey Red Shop where I sell vintage, secondhand, and handmade goods. I'll have links for everything in the description box below. And thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Today I wanted to talk about my hair. Now, as you all know and can see, I'm a curly girl. I have curly textured hair between 2 and 3 types, and when I haven't colored it or anything, it's typically just a little bit dry and my scalp is a little bit dry. I waited about 2 months before I made an appointment with LaQuita at Freedom Curlz. She's also located in Indianapolis, and I highly recommend going to see her. So I do have a few clips before I went in to see her. I was very nervous. You know, I know that y'all know when you come in to a new stylist off of a bad haircut, it's like you're shell shocked. You know, you're just over analyzing things and ruminating on things and going to the worst case scenario, and that was why. Because of that bad haircut. I couldn't get over it, guys. I was having the hardest time styling it, and the products I was using didn't work well with the new cut, and I was just like, okay, so we're just doing the protective thing and keeping it out of sight and out of mind until my hair grows out enough to get the cut sort of straightened out. In December last year, I went to see LaQuita and I got my hair cut, and it was amazing. Hey guys, I know it's so strange to see me with my hair out right now, but the reason for that is I'm about to go in for a hair appointment. I know, right? Never thought I would say that ever again, especially after the last hair appointment that I had, which just, I was like, never again. So I decided to find a stylist that specializes in curly textured hair and drive all the way to Indianapolis to see her. So far, like, her content on Instagram and all of the reviews that I've seen on different websites like Yelp and Google Maps and Search have been extremely positive. I had to detangle and lightly style my hair beforehand, so this is sort of the first time I'm seeing it styled at all. Well, styled lightly, and I can tell that it has grown out a bit, but I'm also noticing certain areas of my hair that are a bit asymmetrical. So I'm hoping that we can get this worked out today. Like I said, she has very positive reviews, and I'm really looking forward to getting a really good haircut that I can grow into, and that will be like the beginning of a new relationship with a stylist where we are on the same page and in alignment on my hair goals and whatnot. So y'all wish me luck. When you go to someone who specializes in a thing that you're looking for, and that's all they do are curly, textured haircuts, their focus and their career is on curly, textured hair coloring, haircuts, new techniques, new products, it makes the process so much easier. If you have curly hair like me, then you know about when you go to a new stylist, even if they say that they have experience cutting curly or textured hair, you still have to go through your whole hair history with them, telling them what you like and what you don't like and how you want your hair cut, and sometimes even why you want it cut that way. In my case, more than once have I had to explain that because my hair does X, Y, and Z, I like to have it cut this way. And when you have to go that deep with someone who is a professional and says that they have that experience, it can be really frustrating when the outcome is not at the same level as what you're saying your experience and education is. It can be a bit of a bummer. I was bummed for a couple of months straight while my hair grew out a little bit from the previous cut, and then I was extra nervous when I went in. And I told LaQuita all of this when I went to see her. I was like, look, I'm coming in off a bad haircut. I need your help here today. I barely had to explain anything because she already knew what I was talking about. I went in with some pictures. We had been texting back and forth ahead of time, and I was showing her pictures of what I wanted my hair goals to be. A bob, but very long. I mean, curly hair, it's already long. Like this, it doesn't look long because it's curly, but if you're a curly girl or guy, then you already know what the deal is. I wanted something more symmetrical eventually. So first we had to correct the haircut that I had gotten previously, which meant that we had to cut a bit off in combination with the last visit that I had with the stylist who cut off more than I already wanted. That kind of set me back as far as my growth schedule. So my hair is a bit shorter than I had anticipated it being at this, you know, it's February now, 2023. But I can already tell that my hair is growing out into the shape that I want. With LaQuita, because she knows what she knows, my schedule with her is based on months and not weeks. I'll be seeing her again in a few more months, depending on a few other things. I went and got my hair cut in December. 6 months previous to that, in June, I made another video about it where I was experimenting with my hair color again. I was bored with my hair color, not really happy with my haircut again at that time in June, and wanted to do something different, so I decided to color my hair. And I have done this like once a year, every year for the past couple of years. So I also have another video where I bleached it and then cut it. And this time I went straight for a permanent hair color and a high volume developer instead of using bleach. So you can only get so far with developer, but I didn't want to go the bleaching route because the results tended to be more unpredictable. Last year I used a double ash blonde hair color from Age Beautiful, and I'm sticking with that brand because out of the Wella and the Ion and Clairol and all of these other brands that I've used, that one gave me the most consistent results. About a week ago, I went ahead and colored it all over using the same 7 double ash blonde permanent hair color. I had 6 months of regrowth on my roots, and I had already used prior to this, I used a hair color remover to remove the rest of the permanent hair color from my hair before I dyed it again.
Anywhere you go, give it all. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
So really, I think that had a huge impact on the results of the hair color that I have right now. I used the hair color remover and it made my hair a very warm orangey brown color, and after using it, the results are that I have a dark ash blonde hair color. I used the 30 volume developer with it. I just put it on my roots, ran it all the way through my ends, and I let it sit on for 45 minutes and then washed and rinsed it out. This is the first phase of this new hair color that I want to try. So before I got started, I decided to watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, and in particular, Elle Bangs and Brad Mondo had some really good advice. aka using the hair color remover over my permanent hair color to take that out before I colored it again, using a higher developer with a permanent hair color instead of just going straight for bleach, or trying a bleach bath, which is another method that people use, and taking time in between treatments. I waited a couple weeks after I used the hair color remover before I dyed it again, and now it's been a week since I dyed it the last time. There is still a little bit of the color left. If my hair gets wet, I can tell after I've like used the towel on it that it still has a little bit of residue left over. So I'm gonna wait another week and then I'm going to color it again, but this time I'm gonna use one of the colors from the rosy tone range. The Zotos Professional Age Beautiful line has a line of medium beige blonde colors that have what they call a rosy tone in it. And before I did any of this, from the first color to this next color that I'm about to do, I took a little test curl and I did my experiments with one test curl. So first I colored it all the way just to make sure that the color would be consistent from the root to the tip, and it was. And then I went over it with a lower volume developer, 20 volume developer, mixed with a little bit of the medium beige rosy toned permanent hair color, and the result was like a strawberry chocolate shade. So then I started looking online, and this was a huge trend like a year or 2 years ago. And I think the color is really flattering on a lot of different skin tones, and I've had a hard time finding colors that I like that I also think will look good with my skin tone, because sometimes that doesn't really matter to me and I just like how the color looks on me. There are some hair colors that I've tried that when I look in the mirror, I feel like my skin looks paler and it looks not as healthy. And then there are some hair colors make me look more tan, or that my skin has a more golden tone to it. So I was looking for something that is different from hair colors that I've done previously, something that wouldn't really damage my hair, and something that I could do sort of on my own timeline, something that I didn't have to rush to do. This was the plan, to dye it once into this ashy blonde color to keep it from getting too warm, too orange, or too red, and then go over it with the beige blonde with this sort of cool rosy tone to it. So that way it would have like a sort of reddish tint to it, that I wouldn't be using a really strong developer on it, so it should go on very light, and I know that it will fade because it has that reddish tone in it. It didn't dry my hair out. I feel like my hair looks really shiny even with nothing on it, and that the color was very consistent throughout. I highly recommend checking out Zotos Professional line. They have a huge line of permanent hair color, and especially if you're looking for variations within the ash shade from light, medium, and dark, they have a lot of variety there. And in this medium beige blonde shade with these rosier tones in them, I thought they were really beautiful. So I highly recommend checking them out. I got all my supplies from Sally's, of course, during the sale. So in about a week, which will be February 17th, hopefully all the residue will be washed out. I'll go over it with the beige blonde, and I'll let you guys see the results after a couple of days when the color has settled and the residue, most of the residue has washed out a bit, so that will give you guys a better idea of what the results are. I wanted a custom color. I wanted something a little bit different, and because that didn't come in one tube, because I wasn't sure how the colors would interact if I mixed them, I decided to layer them. And the results of that were closer to what I was looking for. So, you know, don't give up if you're out there and you're like, I'm on a budget, I'm gonna do this at home. There are options, you just may need to think a little bit outside the box. But also, do listen to the advice from the professionals. Like I said, I got most of my advice from Brad Mondo and Elle Bangs. Really practical advice on how to prepare your hair and the absolute no-nos to do to your hair. You guys wish me luck, because I'm a little nervous, because you know, I put a lot of thought into this, but you just never know what the results are going to be with hair stuff as someone who is not a professional. So I'll see you guys in a week. Right now for shampoo and conditioner, I'm using the Argan Oil Anti-Frizz shampoo from Soapbox. I got these huge 33.8 ounce liter containers at Sally's because they were having a buy one get one 50% off sales. I got these because they don't have a lot of things that dry out my hair or irritate my scalp. The ingredient list is, I'm not gonna say it's natural by any means, but so far I haven't had any dry scalp or irritated scalp, and it doesn't affect the color of my hair. It is color safe. It's also a certified B Corporation. When you purchase this product, a bar of soap is provided to someone in need, either locally or abroad. And if you put in the code, then it shows you where your bar of soap was sent. It has a sort of cologne smell to it. It doesn't smell like straight up argan oil. Argan oil to me has a very nutty, natural flavor, and this smells more, it's a little musky and nutty, so it does have a pretty strong scent to it. So if you're irritated by those things, I would skip it.
Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you said, anywhere you
So I decided to wait until I had more light, so I'm gonna apply it this afternoon. The 7 Dark Warm Beige Blonde color in those rosy tones I was talking about, using a 20 volume developer from the same brand. And I think that may also have helped the color be more consistent, is using the brand's developer. So according to the directions, I add equal parts of the permanent hair color and developer. In this case, 2 ounces of the hair color and 2 ounces of the developer. And I am going to leave it on for about 30 minutes. And we'll see what happens. Hey y'all, so I have about 30 minutes before I finish cooking and wash and rinse the hair color out, and I'm having a flashback to the first time I colored my hair red and the last time, because if my hair has turned red after I colored it, it was purely by accident. I've been actively avoiding red, period, for a long time, unless it was like semi-permanent, a spray or something that will wash out, because the last time I dyed my hair red was right after my mom had given me a relaxer. And my auntie, who is a stylist, I asked her if she would dye my hair red for me. And I did not tell her that I had just gotten a relaxer. So she put that color in my hair and it completely destroyed my hair. There are a lot of videos on YouTube when you see the person touch their hair and they know the hair is just gone. I will never forget that sensation. It felt like I could just pull it apart, like wet noodles, wet stringy noodles. So, because there was nothing to be done at the time, this was the early 2000s, my aunt offered to cut my hair for me. And so she cut it super short. To this day, I still remember seeing myself in the mirror and I loved it. It was kind of like, in my mind, it was like the Peter Pan haircut, where he had like super short, like little swoop, not like Justin Bieber, shorter than that, kind of like the micro bangs thing. And I loved it. I loved how it looks. My mom pitched a fit because I went to visit my aunt with hair, and then I come back and I don't have any hair, and what's left is red and super short. She was not happy at all, but I think that may have been like guiding some of my hair color choices. So this is a big deal. I had totally forgotten about it until I started to see the developer change color, and I started to get a little nervous about it. So I got about 30 more minutes to go. I took my time. I had plenty of light. I had plenty of mixture, because sometimes don't ever underestimate how much of that mixture that you need. If you're not sure, always get extras of everything. But I had plenty, and it seems, everything seems to be going well. I'm a little nervous, but I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. The next day, it rained and was dark all day. It was a total success. I'm so happy with it. I love the color. It's strawberry brunette. It's rose brown. It's reddish brown. It's brown with a tint of red. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me today, and I'll see you all next time.
Anyway